Welcome to the CART EMR Lab video tutorial series. In this video, we will be covering how to set up the Universal Laser for a cutting job. To run the Universal Laser, you need to start the Universal Control Panel program, which is right here, this icon. You can also get to it through the Start menu, but I'm just going to double click here. When you double click on it the first time, you'll get the little waiting icon, and then when that waiting icon goes away, it means the program has started, but it starts in a minimized state. So the easiest way to get to the program so you can see it is to just double click again on that icon and it'll bring up the user interface. So it shows you the last job that was in the queue, which is not the job we want to run. So we're going to open up, we're going to hit the file open so that we can import our job. And that'll bring up the select a print job dialog box. And this shows all the previous print jobs, which none of them are ours to run. So we're going to want to bring in a new one by hitting the import button. So now the import button goes to the last known location, which is not where our file is. Ours is on this folder here under Laser Cutter, and it's titled Video Example 2 for this video. You would open the appropriate one for whatever job you were running. So I'm going to select that and hit open, and it will import that geometry. So now the import DXF dialog box pops up because we chose a DXF file. I exported that DXF in inches mode, so 1 unit equals 1 inch. If you were in millimeter, you would need to select millimeters. We want to make sure to leave the other check boxes alone. And then the next setting we want to adjust is the material. So if you hit the edit button, that'll bring up the material selector database. And there's a lot of predefined materials in here. In this case, we're going to cut this part out of wood. So you'd go down and you'd pick the wood category. We want to go to hardwood, and then just a general hardwood. And the material we're cutting out of is an 1/8 inch thick, so that's 0.125 inches thick. And I like to click off in another area of the dialog box just to make sure that this got accepted. And then we're going to make sure the quality is set all the way to the left. And that's all there is to selecting the material. If you were running a different material, say paper or acrylic, you would go set the settings appropriate for that. So we're going to hit the apply button, and then we're going to go down, and once that grays out, we're going to hit the OK button, which will close that dialog box, and you'll get this little status bar, and then the materials update. Once the material is updated like this, you can hit the OK button on this dialog box, and it'll give a status bar again, and then pull up a screen without a preview. So the first time you import it, it hasn't been into the main area of the program to give you a preview image. So you want to make sure that you're selecting the file down here, the correct one. So if I click off of it, you'll see this was the previous one, and now Video Example 2 is the new one. So make sure Video Example 2 is selected, and then you're going to hit Select up here, and that'll bring in the geometry into the main interface. So that covers importing geometry into the Universal Control Panel and getting it ready to run on the Universal Laser. And that concludes this video.